Good afternoon, everybody. What is it? Today is Thursday, June 9th, and we are here for MFSN's weekly Waiver Wire Fantasy Baseball Show. My name is Kasey Scheinval. I'll be hosting today. It's going to be an abbreviated show. We have a limited time, but we're going to get you just as much information. Dr. Dan is sick, hoping he gets better soon, and we'll see him next week. But as always, Ross the Boss is here.
Hey, everybody, I'm Ross the Boss, and I want to talk Waiver Wire Baseball with you, cowboy.
Ooh, Ross is in super speed. That's right. We're doing it abbreviated. Just to refresh, we're going to use only names that are 60% or less owned in Yahoo for fantasy baseball. We're going to start with our top 4 pickups of the week, and then we're going to go position by position and give you a few more names. So we're going to go right to it. Ross, who are your top 4 this week?
My top 4, week 9, Waiver Wire Baseball are, drumroll please, Kasey Scheinfold. Sounds great, Case. Garrett Cooper. I want us to say their names. No explanation until we get to the position. But Garrett Cooper, Kyle Farmer, Manuel Margot, Tampa Bay, and this is like the most like upper class name for any baseball player I've heard in my life. Graham Ashcroft. If you heard that name, you would think he was some wealthy businessman that went to Harvard from the northeast. Am I right or wrong?
He sounds like old money. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it sounds like. Hey, call Graham. He can play polo today. So those are my top 4 pickups of the week. Case, what do you got?
I like those pickups. I'm going to go a little different then. I'm going to say, first and foremost, I like Bryson Stott of the Philadelphia Phillies. Ever since Girardi got fired, they're giving him a chance to play. He's been producing. I'm going to name all young guys. Jose Miranda. We talked about him weeks ago. He struggled when he first came up, hitting better now. So that's another one. How about Gabriel Moreno, who just got called up as a catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, the number 1 prospect? And then I'll name one pitcher. I'm going to say Diego Castillo in Seattle, who's suddenly been getting the closer's role, been pitching lights out. So those are my top 4 for this week. What do you think of them?
I have Gabriel Moreno. The Toronto Blue Jays just brought him up. As you say, he's a top prospect. He's hitting over 300 in the minors. I mean, he's the real deal. I like that. I like that one. That was one of my catchers I had on my list. But yes, overall, great.
All right. Well, we already have our first question, and I don't want to neglect our viewers here. So the old Kanye asked, for the rest of the season, who would you rather have, Votto, Tellez, or Matt Olson? He has Olson and admits he's frustrated. Do you think he should stick with Olson or move on to one of the other 2?
Well, when players go to a different league, I hate to say it, there's always like 6 or 8 weeks of getting adjusted. You know, seeing teams a lot more often now in the National League compared to the American League. I'm talking about Matt Olson. I think Votto is just on a tear. This is his last year of his contract, and he has something to prove. I like Joey Votto just because that ballpark's a joke. Anybody can hit a home run in that place. And I think Joey Votto is the one I would keep.
Yeah, Olson worries me kind of the same way we had with Francisco Lindor last year in the Mets. Switched leagues, struggled almost the whole year. Had a few good moments, but overall a struggle. But Matt Olson still has a lot of value. I would probably agree with you that I'd want Votto, but I would try to turn Olson into something valuable because there's enough people probably in his league who believe in him. So I would look to trade Matt Olson and get one of those other first basemen who are going to do just as well. So that's an excellent question. Thank you for that. Let's start with some catchers. Go ahead. Who's, other than Moreno, who's your other top catcher this week?
My other one is, he's like owned like in 3% of the league. So this guy's definitely available. He plays for your Seattle Mariners, Cal Raleigh. And unless you're like a Mariner fan, you have no idea who this guy is. But Cal Raleigh, in the past 2 weeks, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. He's been hitting the cover off the ball. If you need a catcher right now, he's a streaker. I don't know if he can keep this power surge up, but you know what? If you have room in your roster, pick him up and start him.
Yeah, I agree. He's one. Catcher's such a underwhelming position. Christian Vasquez, for some reason, this is a guy who produces pretty consistently, and he's only 57% owned. Not a power guy, but he can help you in average and RBIs. So that is a catcher I would consider. Moving on to first base, who do you got?
I mentioned Garrett Cooper. Why do I like Garrett Cooper? Well, he's hitting 305 this year. That's
not bad.
The past 15 games, Case, hitting 446, 2 home runs.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Not bad. And then Nathaniel Lowe, who's available in a bunch of leagues. He plays for Texas. He's hitting the past 2 weeks, 347, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. That Texas ballpark, when it starts heating up, which it is the Paul really carries. It really carries there. So those are my two big pickups for first base.
Yeah, I agree. I have a couple other who qualify at first, but they also qualify at third. So I'm going to save them for there. So I actually don't have anybody to add at first base other than those two. Those were the two I had on my list as well. Moving on to second base. This is another position where there's not a lot of options. Who do you have?
Santiago Espinal.
The
Plays for Toronto. He's past 2 weeks, 308, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. He's a streaker, but you know what? That Toronto lineup, as you know, Case, because you're Vlad to the bone, it's lethal. I mean, it's really a great lineup, and they're not even playing up to potential yet, and they're starting to hit. So I think that's a really good pickup right now. He bats in the meat of that order too, so I like him a lot. And I mean, another one I love. He had a home run today. Actually, is Matt Reynolds of the Cincinnati Reds. Matt Reynolds, kind of a journeyman. The past 2 weeks, he's hitting 342, 9 RBIs. Now he has 3 home runs. He's been hitting really well. He's a streaker. I'm not saying drop your starting second baseman to play him, but if you have room on your roster, you can play him for maybe a week or so and see what he does. It's a really good pickup. So Matt Reynolds is my second baseman that you should pick up.
Yeah, I agree with both of those as well. And I'm going to add Bryson Stott. I talked about him at the beginning. Ever since Gene Segura got hurt, he's out for a few months. They've been giving him the second base job, and all he's done is batted .320 with 3 home runs and a stolen base, and scored 10 runs in the last couple weeks. So he was hot in spring. He was a big name that they were talked about of what they could produce. They thought he was going to push Alec Bohm off a third, but Alec Bohm has surprised a lot and found some consistency. So they finally found room for him at a second, and he's kind of like an Energizer bunny. Bob just joined in. He said, sorry, I'm late. Have you mentioned Garrett Cooper or John Birdie or Jack Sawinski? So I'm going to let you talk about Garrett Cooper, Ross, because you already mentioned him. Yeah,
Garrett Cooper, we talked about him. He's one of my top pickers of the week. He's hitting over 300 for the season. I mean, this guy's doing unbelievable. In Miami especially. I mean, no one watches those games. But Garrett Cooper, if you have room for him at first base it's just an overload of talent. So if you have room for him, great pickup. I agree with you, Bob. That's his name. Yep. And yes, that's a great pickup.
We haven't talked about John Birdie or Jack Sawinski yet. For those of you who don't know, Jack
Sawinski, really quick, Pittsburgh Pirate. He's been killing the ball lately. I picked him up in a couple of my leagues. I'm not going to recommend him quite yet, but he's on a hot streak. He's a hot hitter.
And John Birdie, for those, is another Miami Marlin. He qualifies at second, third, and outfield, and that's pretty valuable because...
Yeah, and if you need stolen bases, he has in the past 2 weeks, he has 7 stolen bases in 2 weeks. He's been tearing it up in that category. If you need some help there, could be a great pickup.
Yeah, and so just Bob, though, you're exactly right that there's a lot of multi-hit games there in the last few weeks with him, with Sawinski, and Birdie is running like crazy, and Miami's letting him. Jazz Chisholm gets all the attention there, but Birdie is very valuable because of the multi-positions. And when you can get somebody multi-positions who contributes and steals, it certainly helps. So we're going to move on to shortstop. Just Bob, just so you know, we're not meaning to disregard what you're saying. We're trying to do a 15-minute episode because of other commitments. So we're trying to fly through things here quickly. Shortstop, who do you have?
Kyle Farmer, as I mentioned, 4 home runs in the past 2 weeks. 5 home runs for the season. He's hitting .271 right now. He's on a huge tear. He did the same thing last year. The last 70 games last year for the Reds, he was on fire. I mean, he was one of the hottest hitters in the National League. Kyle Farmer, if you need a shortstop and your shortstop's not producing right now, pick him up. And then, I'll mention him again. He's an ex-Yankee. I know you cringe when I say it, but Gio Urshela.
I like Gio Urshela. I don't cringe at all.
Yeah, 348, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs in the past 9 weeks. That's really good, Casey Scheinfeld.
And he's teeing off on the Yankees, which makes him even happier, I'm sure.
And he plays short. He can play third. He's available in both positions on Yahoo. So both those guys I love. If you pick them up, start them immediately.
Yep, I agree with that. Bryson Stott, as I just talked about, qualifies at shortstop as well. Yep. And in the Pittsburgh farm system, O'Neal Cruz is proving that he doesn't belong in AAA for very long. So ideally, he'll get the call. He's only 24% owned. This guy is a power speed guy. if you have room on your roster to stash him, he would be one of the key minor leaguers to stash at this point, because I can't see why they're keeping him down there. He was up last year, so it has nothing to do with service time. Get him up there, let him produce, make Pittsburgh exciting again. So I'm going to go with him. All right, let's name some third basemen.
It's not Bob's Burger, but I like Jake Burger. Jake Burger for the White Sox, the past 2 weeks, Case 297, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, not too shabby. The White Sox were my team to win the World Series this year, so I like their offense.
To somehow survive. Yeah,
I know, no kidding. And then another guy that he's like every week I want to say, okay, he's going to drop off, but Wilmer Flores, he's available in like 5. He plays like 4 different positions, but he plays third base. I put him down there. Past 2 weeks, he's hitting 250, but he has 3 home runs and 8 RBIs the past 2 weeks. And he loves the hit. I mean, this guy is a monster at the plate right now. He's just going to get better and better as it heats up in San Francisco. So those are my two.
Yeah, Berger's a great pick. He's been, I don't watch a lot of White Sox games, but in the last couple of weeks, every time I turn him on, it seems like he's the one who gets the hit for them, or the big hit. So maybe he'll be what's responsible for waking up that Chicago team and carry him. I think that's a good pickup. I'm going to name Eduardo Escobar. For some reason, still only 58% owned. This guy just gets hits. He's a professional hitter. He qualifies at first, second, and third. He's in that Mets lineup, which is pretty dynamic. A 280 average, 13 RBIs, 3 home runs, 9 runs scored in the last 2 weeks. And Jose Miranda. I know I was a big fan of his about a month ago when he first got called up and told everybody to pick him up. He struggled. They actually sent him back down for like 12 hours and brought him back up. And since he's been back up the last 2 weeks, 387, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, qualifies at both first and third base. And somebody, if you saw my short yesterday, was oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Who am I thinking of? Do you know who
Aaron Judge?
No, not Aaron Judge. I'm thinking of Miguel for the Dodgers. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you mentioned him. I'm not a Dodger fan, so I'm not familiar with the one you said. That's fine.
It'll come back to me, I promise. Yeah, let's move to outfield. Outfield. Who do you got?
Okay. Manuel Margot. I think I said that right. Or is it Margaret? It's Margot of the
Manuel Margot, or Manuel Margot ahead, as they talk about him in Tampa Bay.
Exactly, in Tampa. So last night he had 4 hits, Case. He's hitting over 300 for the year, 3 home runs, 5 stolen bases. He was on the DL for about 2 weeks. He just got back last week, and he's been on a tear since. I love this guy. I really think he's the real deal. He's been platooning last year. He wasn't really a starter that much until this year. Pick him up now. He's going to help your team tremendously. Another guy I like, this is like my favorite first name of anybody in Major League Baseball. If I had a kid today, I have 2 grown kids, so it's too late. But I love the name Lane Thomas of Washington.
It even chokes you up. You like it so much.
He's hitting in the past 2 weeks. He's hitting 294 with 4 home runs. But Lane Thomas of Washington Nationals, he's playing great, and he plays center field. I think he bats second. He's doing unbelievable there. But those are my 2 pickups for the outfield right now.
All right, I'll name 2. I'm not even going to go through why, because we're getting near the end here. Okay. I'm going to name Trent Grisham, power speed guy in San Diego, and Tommy Pham in Cincinnati. Somebody you're very familiar with. He's heating up a lot too lately. Yep. I think those are 2 guys. All right, give me a starter and a reliever so we can get you out of here.
Graham Ashcroft, he's our cover boy. Graham is like the rookie of the year right now. So that all being said, he has not had 1 bad start. His ERA is like under 2. He looks unbelievable. I mean, this guy came out from nowhere. I mean, the Reds did not even have him in the top 5 in their minor league system. They have all these other guys that they have, and they brought this kid up. He's pitching great. And then this is a long shot. If you need a reliever, I think the Red Sox are going to make this guy the closer. Past 2 nights, he has 2 saves. He could be the closer for the Red Sox because I know the manager's really upset, is Matt Strome. Again, he looks great, and you got to take a chance sometimes to pick a guy up early like that, because if he gets the job as the closer, the Red Sox are going to have a really good second half. It could be a great pickup. Case. Don't tell the rest of our league about him because I want to pick him up tonight.
You get him. He's all yours. All right, so I'll name 2, and then we'll get you out of here. I mentioned Diego Castillo. He seems to have kind of handling the late inning responsibilities now. He's pitching great in Seattle. I think that's a good one to get. And what about Edward Cabrera, the rookie out of Miami, who's pitching lights out in his last 2 games, 12 innings, only 1 earned run allowed, 0.75 whip, got 2 wins, 13 strikeouts. The kid's incredible. Florida knows how to turn out. Miami knows how to turn out pitching prospects.
The starters in Florida, you have all these young guys. They're unbelievable. And
it's crazy.
Cabrera, he has some great stuff. I saw him pitch the other night. Unbelievable. He was great.
Yeah, so those are some big names. And Hunter Green pitched great his last time out. If Hunter Green figures it out, Ross, in Cincinnati, look out.
Oh, he pitched 7 innings and gave up 1 hit. The game was called after rain. But Hunter Green, if you look at his strikeout ratio, it's like off the charts. But the problem is he does give the long ball up, and he's been doing great the past 2 or 3 starts. So Hunter Green, maybe rookie of the year. We'll see what happens. But right now it's Ashcroft.
Hey, I like it. All right, guys. Well, that's been our 15 minutes. Sorry this was so brief. We will get a more thorough show to you guys next week, we promise. But as always, please subscribe to our channel. If you like what you're hearing, hit the like button for us. Ring the bell for notifications. Leave more comments. Just Bob and the old Kanye, thank you for participating today. We love hearing from you guys, and we will see you next week.
Kill Cliff Octane. New flavor. Laser Lemon. 125 milligrams of clean caffeine. No sugar.
25 milligrams of CBD.
Meow available at killcliff.com.